Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the absolute heart of Thailand's spiritual and cultural landscape. We're going to explore a tradition that honestly is far from just some relic of the past. It's a living, breathing ecosystem that has been constantly adapting for literally millennia. So let's unpack the massive wealth of Thailand's Buddhist heritage.
40,000. Take a second to really let that number sink in. That's the estimated number of Buddhist temples, or wats, spread all across Thailand today. To put that kind of scale into perspective, it basically means that for every 2 villages in the entire country, there is at least 1 temple. And these aren't just quiet, empty places of worship either. They are the socio-economic heartbeat of their local communities.
So here is our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the roots of Thai Buddhism, admire the masterpieces of faith, explore the living culture, navigate politics and global shifts, and finally, we'll peer right into the future of faith.
All right, let's jump right in. Section 1. Roots of Thai Buddhism. A heritage forged over millennia.
Before we can even begin to appreciate the modern architecture or the fascinating world of cyber meditation we'll talk about later, we really need to establish the deep demographic roots of this religion. Just look at the sheer dominance here. Out of a population of nearly 70 million people, almost 87% practice Theravada Buddhism. It's the state religion, sure, but way more than that. It's the foundational lens through which Thai society actually operates day to day.
And this story certainly didn't start yesterday. It goes all the way back to the 3rd century BC when Emperor Asoka sent messengers to propagate the faith via the Sotapanna River. Fast forward a bit to the 13th century and Buddhism becomes absolutely central to the evolution of Thailand's civil society with the establishment of the Sukhothai Kingdom. And then bam, we hit the 20th century. This was a wild period of massive urban migration, where millions of people moved from the rural Central Plains straight to the booming metropolis of Bangkok, bringing their ancient faith right into a rapidly modernizing world.
Which brings us to the physical monuments themselves. Section 2. Masterpieces of Faith. The Pillars of Thai Buddhism.
If you really want to distinguish between the iconic royal temples, here's a quick cheat sheet of 3 major sites. First up, we have Wat Phra Kaew. This is home to the meticulously carved Emerald Buddha, which is fiercely revered as the ultimate guardian of the monarchy and the nation. Next is Wat Po. Now, it's famous for its massive 46-meter reclining Buddha, but actually, historically speaking, it's crucial as Thailand's first center of traditional medicine and education. And finally, Wat Arun. With its incredibly intricate porcelain pagoda, it beautifully represents the rising sun and the birth of a whole new era of architecture.
But here's the thing about these grand monuments. They aren't just static buildings. They require human hands. Take Wat Phra Kaew, for instance. To maintain its breathtaking beauty, especially during the muddy, messy, rainy season, local workers practice this incredible ritual of devotion. First, they wake up at the crack of dawn. Second, they bring their own personal bamboo cleaning tools. And get this, tools they've used so much they are literally worn into shapes perfectly suited to their individual hands. And third, they lovingly scrub the mud off the temple's gold plates. It's such a visceral reminder of how a completely mundane maintenance task is actually a profound act of spiritual devotion.
Stepping away from the bricks and mortar, we hit Section 3, the living culture, monks, rituals, and society. It's the monastic leaders who have profoundly shaped this living ecosystem over the years. Consider these 3 incredibly diverse, highly influential 20th century figures. You have Samdet Prajnasamvara, the 19th Supreme Patriarch, who served as a royal tutor for a staggering 69 years. Then there's Ajahn Chah. He mastered the rigorous forest tradition and essentially threw open the doors to massive Western cultural exchange, training a whole wave of foreign disciples. And Phra Panyanand, a monk of Malay descent, who spoke fluent Malay and Thai, acting as a really adept, crucial political connector in the South. They're proof of how vastly different personalities have globally shaped Theravada Buddhism.
But hey, it's not just the leaders at the top, it's everyday people too. Let's talk about the concept of thatha, the regular practice of monk almsgiving. This is way more than just handing over a bowl of food. It's actually designed from the ground up to cultivate good deeds, family discipline, and community welfare. The main takeaway here is that these daily rituals are the bridge. They close the gap between abstract spiritual devotion and highly practical, on-the-ground social welfare.
As society changes, so does the institution. Section 4. Politics and Global Shifts. Navigating Power and Modernity.
Because, let's be honest, Buddhism didn't exist in a vacuum. as Thailand moved from an absolute monarchy right into a parliamentary democracy, navigating military coups, mass urban migration, and this sudden, heavy exposure to Western media, its role in society was heavily impacted. The ancient monastic state had no choice but to adapt to these sweeping political and geographic shifts.
And sometimes, that adaptation caused some serious friction. Back in 1947, right in the middle of a time of military coups, a truly tragic conflict unfolded at Wat Madhat. The government's education minister actually accused Buddhist priest teachers of rebellion and political ambition. This sparked a devastating purge of progressive monks and members of the church council, and the temple abbot was even arrested and exiled. It's a very stark, historical example of the high-stakes clash between an emerging modern state and traditional institutions.
Fast forward to today, and you can see how forms of engagement are evolving right in the middle of this changing landscape. While traditional temple visits definitely remain a core practice, younger, often Western-educated generations are questioning those traditional boundaries. They're actually shifting their focus toward hands-on Buddhist social activities, stepping up for environmental activism and volunteering for the underprivileged. It's faith translated into social action.
Which brings us to our final act, Section 5, The Future of Faith. Buddhism in the Digital Age.
Talk about a stark contrast between the old world and the new. On one hand, you have traditional monastic life, secluded forest traditions, physical almsgiving, and beautifully handwritten Pali scripts. And on the other hand, modern cyber Buddhism. The ultimate, absolute prime example of this evolution is Wat Phra Dhammakaya. We're talking about a massive, wealthy organization that promotes mass meditation via satellite broadcasting and global online networking. It is high-tech, it is highly debated, and it is undeniably the modern era at work.
So what does this actually mean for the religion itself? Well, philosophically speaking, moving online doesn't destroy the core of the faith. It does not undergo an ontological metamorphosis, which is really just a fancy academic way of saying its essential nature doesn't mutate into something entirely different. Instead, it just takes on new media. It generates a new publicness. It's basically translating ancient, timeless wisdom right into our complex, hyper-connected cyber reality.
So, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought. As cyber Buddhism and rapid globalization keep redefining what it means for something to be sacred, how will this 2,000-year-old tradition continue to adapt to the digital age? Will screens ever truly replace the physical temples, or are they just going to amplify their reach to corners of the globe we never thought possible? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope it gave you something incredible to think about.